goats are fed. I got done after the storm cleaning up. Tractor did awesome. A little bit snowy, but a nice little tractor. Nice little tractor. So I'm gonna say why or explain why there's a little stuffed farms. Now I know my video started out with Jetic Outdoor. You know, I got the reason it was Jetic Outdoor is because I really wanted this little tractor. I wanted to do some work outside and make a living doing that, doing landscape work. But my dream is always having a little farm. And I didn't think I was going to be able to do it. It was just by, I don't know, I met Trudy over there at that other goat farm. Hung out there for a long time, milking, learning about goats, thinking maybe I was going to be able to do some farming over there, but that didn't happen. So this farm here, this old barn, has just been sitting here for years. And I really didn't know Mark at all. I knew of him because I grew up in this area on the dairy farm. And so I got his number and called him one day and wondered if I could rent the barn. And after a day, he just called me back and said, okay. I rented the barn. It was, you saw in other videos what it was like. But anyway, since then, since that day, we've come so far. Mark has just started rebuilding his old barns. I've painted them. I've done so much work with him. He's become a good friend. He wants to do the farm with me now, because it's bringing life to him, this farm. You know, doing potatoes, vegetables, just farming, having these little goats. They're my goats and all that, yes. But he just loves being here too, and this is where he grew up when he was a kid. You know, he left too when he was young, and the farm just sat here all these years. But it's becoming something of a passion to him too now, which is great. I have that passion in me, and having him with me now doing this has just been wonderful. You'll see him around. But the little things, these little tractors, you think, well, you could do so much more with getting a big tractor, bigger equipment. Well, the story behind that is, when I was a kid growing up, I had my own rabbits on the dairy farm, and we had the bigger tractor. Well, they were big then. John Deere's. And my godfather helped him on his farm. He had you saw the no, you didn't. I didn't film that. I put it up on Facebook. It was an 806 International. That was huge back then. And yeah. But I had this little snapper lawnmower rider, and I used to see these guys with these John Deere's, much like the one I own now, that little 210. And I used to think to myself, man, I did so much with that snapper. I collected all the grass for the rabbits. I had my own beef cow, and I did all that work with that tractor, that little snapper rider. And I always thought, man, I'd love to be able to farm with these little tractors. I had pictures of the Cub Cadets. They were cool. John Deere. There wasn't that many brands out there, I don't think. I mean, there were some. Massey Ferguson did have a smaller one my godmother owned, which was cool. I loved that tractor too. And I used to think, man, I want to do it. I just want to farm. You know, it was kind of crazy thinking. I never really said much about it to anybody, but I used to think, man, it'd be so awesome to just have a little farm, be able to do all the farm work with them, because they did have tillers for them then, and although they were kind of hooked up crazy like with belts and all sorts of gadgets. So I'm kind of fulfilling that dream that when I was a kid. You know, being able to now, since I met Mark, it's a dream that I'm really living now. I mean, we can buy equipment like this, and the market has become so that they make all sorts of attachments for these type of tractors, you know, tillers, plows. You can buy Abriata balers. They make them for these tractors. You know, you can round bale with them. They're no more than 55-pound bales, just like a small square bale. You can round bale with them, with these tractors. They have cutters. They have disc mowers. Drum mowers that act like hay mines. You name it. Just like the big tractors, you can get everything for these tractors. Plows. And it takes longer to do the work out in the fields. We're going to do quite a bit of acreage back here. It takes longer. I don't even care. I love doing it with these things. It's just a dream. I can get into this barn with this tractor. I can do all sorts of stuff with this tractor. You know, my John Deere 750. And yes, maybe one day we'll get a Massey in a 17, you know, like a 30 horse. But it'll still be a compact tractor. And this will always be on the farm now. I've decided that I'm always going to keep this because this thing is so versatile. This 1720 tractor, you know, it's so, look at, you know, now it's got a heated cab. I felt like I could just do anything out there with it, you know, I mean, you know, because it was warm, you could work in it. So that's why I have little stuff farms. Yeah, and I know I'm never going to be doing thousands of acres or hundreds of acres even, you know what I mean, like some of these big farms. You know, it's fun to watch them guys, but I'm doing it my way, just doing things like this. So if you're interested in how these little tractors can work on a farm, then watch my videos. Subscribe to my channel, because this is what it's going to be. It's not just a homeowner. I'm not just a homeowner working my GC doing little projects. This is going to be out in the field planting potatoes. It's going to be picking potatoes. It's going to be collecting hay. You'll see how we're going to do the hay this year. I mean, maybe one day we will be able to afford those balers, but they're kind of pricey. Right now, we're building, and this is the way it's going. And all these little tractors are going to be here doing that work with me. So if you're interested, you see how my little farm, my little stuff farm, that's why it's a little stuff farm. I changed it to that because I knew after I met Mark, I'm going to be farming. My dream. And that's it. Follow your dream. You see it on my heading there. It's follow your dream. My sister made that for me. And it's been tough going. And she's always said, follow your dream, and I'm doing that. So subscribe to my channel, please. I'd love it if you did. Help me out. And watch the things that I do on this farm. How my herd of goats is going to grow. How we're going to farm these vegetables with these tractors. These little tractors. So join me, okay? It's a nice journey. I'll talk to you guys later.